It's very important for us to have an opportunity to make sure that our football team is competitive. That's one thing that Coach Lynn talked about. We made some changes on our football team this offseason, brought in a new punter, have a new long snapper. Mike Wentz still on our football team. Competition that Coach Lynn talks about. And that's one of the things in this area that we have during the course of the offseason. With the draft, Tom Telesco did a great job of trying to help our special teams with players coming in, but competition is going to be critical. So we're trying to do a great job of bettering our football team from the bottom up. We made some improvement over the last 3 years. We've had some teams that's ranked in the top 5 in this unit, some teams that ranked in the top 8. So we're trying to improve our area football team. So hopefully this will get it done this offseason. Is there any questions I can answer for you? Sure. Eric Ty is a right-footed punter. He did a great job in the CFL. You got to imagine now he's up there kicking in adverse conditions. And that's one thing that with our schedule, when we play some East Coast teams, he's going to do a great job for us. And we have some competition. We have a young man from Notre Dame coming in as well. He's not our punter. He's got to make our football team, obviously. But he's a strong-legged guy, great get-off, and he's a directional punter. So he does a nice job of putting the ball both to the right and left. With that big field they had in Canada, it would be benefits for us because he had to kick wider, which will put the ball in the corners for us in terms of his punts. So we're looking for a big job for him. He's an excellent holder. And that's one thing during the course of this offseason with a new snapper and a holder. He is doing a great job for us, but he isn't a holder. He did that all through his college career when he was at Birmingham.
Coach, last year it looked like Travis was going to take the punt return duties, and Desmond emerged, ended up scoring that clutch touchdown in Pittsburgh. Can you talk a little bit about his emergence as the punt returner?
Desmond has done a great job. He was a great punt returner back in college. And what we basically done was give him opportunity. You mentioned Travis earlier because Desmond was getting so much play as a defensive back. Travis, I think, was our third receiver at that particular point in time. Of course, he did it the year before. But Desmond, his progression in terms of a punt returner has been outstanding. He's a strong runner. I think he was a second-team All-Pro in that area last year. We continue to look for Desmond to do big things for us as well. Again, you go back to the draft that Tom Telesco made. Nas has did a great job in terms of doing that as well. So we're looking for competition at that spot, but Desmond is our punt returner. Dez is our guy as well, but again, you look at the guys that Thomas brought in the last year. Austin Eckler could be back there this year. You look at Detrez could be back there this year. We just signed a young man last name Cox. That's a great return guy back in college. So we're looking at different combinations, but right now Desmond is that feature guy. He averaged about 23 yards or 24 yards a year ago, which our kick return team I think was in the top 10 or just barely out of the top 10. So he's done a good job with that as well. Cameron, I feel very comfortable about a place kicker. You know, Tom, again, Telesco did a great job of going out to find Michael Badgley. Mike was at the University of Miami, as we know. Came in last year, did an outstanding job. You know, from the standpoint of, I think it was 94% on his field goals. The last half of the season, I think he was the best kicker in our league. He was a Rookie of the Year from the Pro Football Focus, so as a special teams rookie. So he has done an excellent job. I think he was 15 or 16 a year ago. 59-yard field goal. So he has done a great job. He's out working his tail off now, and we're looking for big things out of Michael.
You give Telesco a lot of credit for picking these guys. How much input do you have?
Very little. No, I'm just we do a great job of scouting, but again, it goes back to our personnel department because it's so much time, Cameron, in coaching that we don't have an opportunity to do very much film work at all. So we have to base our responsibilities in terms of what we do with our scouting department because they do a great job. They see more players than we do. And they do a great job of looking for those guys. You're welcome. Eric, I did not get the first part of your question. Oh, yes. I think that was mentioned earlier. I think someone asked Coach Lynn that. We drafted him as a quarterback. He is an excellent athlete. That's up for debate. That's up to the head coach. But he does a lot of good things. He's a holder. He can return. He is fast. I look at the kid they have in New Orleans, same type of situation. Maybe if he's available for that, we can use him. But right now, he's going to be a quarterback. Drew's been on our radar for a long time. Again, our scouting department has talked about this young man. They have stayed with him, of course, just not only Drew, but all the linebackers came out in the draft. But Drew is a Notre Dame guy. I'm a Notre Dame guy, so in terms of having a chance to watch him, great benefits to our football team. A 6'2", 230-pound athlete can run. again, more competition for us to have an opportunity to get better.
Ty also kicked in Canada. Is he a candidate to kick off here, or would you rather have Michael assume that and be able to handle it?
Well, Jeff going forward right now, Ty right now is our punter. He does kick off. We will have an opportunity, of course, in training camp to see him do that as well. Michael is our kicker. That could come down to a situation that's very similar to Indianapolis a few years ago. They had a kicker that also punted, and the kicker just kicked field goals. That could be a situation here, but we're going to look at all options before we go forward.
Coach, can you talk about Michael Badgley and the way he performed last year, undrafted rookie? You guys signed him halfway through, and he just kicked a 59-yarder against Cincinnati. Talk about the work of your kicker.
Well, Fernando Michael has a great work ethic in terms of the things that he does. A great work ethic. And we're very pleased to have him because he is professional. And the short time he's been here, he has gained respect to our football team. I'm quite sure he's gained respect to our media as well because he's given a task and he's done it outstandingly. And that's one thing with a kicker. We've had kicking problems before. I think there's a team in our league right now that has kicking issues. I'm glad it's not us anymore. But Michael has done an excellent job in terms of handling that business.
He also kind of has this like full confidence though.
He has that Jersey confidence. I call it Jersey confidence. Yeah, just give me the ball. But he has that. But he's a great kicker. His mental approach is outstanding, Haley. That's one thing I like about him. That 59-yard field goal, Fernando, you mentioned a minute ago. We were going to punt the football. I mean, we're going to pin him and punt him. And my coach, I got it. And I believe in my kickers. I had Gary Anderson when I was a young coach, and Gary would probably be a Hall of Famer, Kurt. And he's a young guy. I was a young coach, a veteran guy. And I believe in my kickers. When they tell you they can kick the football and make those type of field goals, I got to have the confidence they can do it because that's what I'm on a football team for. And he's done a great job of making those kicks. So we're very fortunate to have him.
When you say it's like his mental approach,
Yes.
can you expand on that?
His mindset, the way he goes about his business, Kurt. You know, from a standpoint of how he eats, how he trains, how he works in the field. He's very meticulous in what he does. He's a pro to be a young player. He was coached very well in college in Miami. For us to have a chance to get him, everything about him, he's kind of like Tiger Woods. You know, that standard operating procedure Tiger Woods has. He's looking at football, he's looking at the spot, he's looking at the wind conditions. Everything that you look for in a kicker, he does those things. So we're very fortunate to have a guy like Michael Badgley on our football team.
Coach, you talk about this weekend. Sorry. You mentioned your connection to Notre Dame. You have a couple guys from there now, Drew and Isaac and Tillery.
Right.
But what is it about the experience at Notre Dame that translates to success for some of these guys?
Well, I think, first of all, because it is a school. You know, it's a Power 5 school, as we know. The tradition there has been very great. Guys that go to school there are normally top echelon type players. So with that, and Coach Kelly has done a great job of coaching those guys, but to have an Isaac Rochelle, to have a Jared Tillery, to have a Drew Tranquil on our football team, very fortunate. You know, you look at the guys who's played in this league from Notre Dame, has been outstanding. You go back to Mark Bavaro years and years ago, but been very fortunate with those type of guys. Ricky Waters in San Francisco when he was there. So we've been very fortunate with those type of athletes. But that particular group, because they're smart, number one, and not saying that they're smarter than anyone else, but they're smart, happy to get in school there, athletic, and have great toughness. So we're very fortunate to have those guys on our team.
And usually those kids have a wide range of interests because of the way they
Right.
sometimes they're dinged because of that. How do you guys weed through that, whether you guys are passionate?
Eric, that's one thing that our head coach, Coach Land, talks about having a plan B. You know, plan A is football in terms of what they do. Plan B is what you're going to do after football. And it's very rare that you have guys, sometimes it's late in their career before they look at a plan B. To get a guy like Jared Tillery that has a plan B already, and it's outstanding for him. But that's what we try to get done to our players. So once they leave this organization, they're able to go out in the real world and have a chance to be successful in other endeavors.
So as coaches, you see that as a positive.
Absolutely. No question. Absolutely.
Do you take pride in that player's development after being a part of your teams or the Chargers specifically?
Cameron, we do, and not only me, but you know, you look at Arthur Hightower in terms of our players program. He does a great job with that in terms of getting guys here, put them back in school so they can graduate while they're playing pro football, which is excellent for our league to do that. But yeah, we do have a sense of pride of seeing guys continue to do well. Byron Spruill, and then another guy that's in the Notre Dame guy, played for me years ago. You have the commissioner in the National Basketball Association. I think he's next to the commissioner, so he's the guy that's right next to him. So Byron has done a great job in that respect, although he's a football player, cross-track, NBA, but has done a great job. So we've been very fortunate with that. But yeah, you take pride in that. Absolutely.
Priority A for a lot of these rookies is going to be make the team on special teams.
Yes.
How important is this upcoming weekend for you to get this new crop of rookies in here
Eric is critical in terms of having those guys to come in. I look at Coach Lynn, undrafted free agent. Austin Eckler, undrafted free agent. George Stewart, undrafted free agent, have an opportunity to come to a football team and to have eyes on them that are serious eyes, meaning that just because they're undrafted don't mean you don't watch them like you watch that first round. You do, because you never know that diamond in the rough. And again, 3 years ago, I tell these young guys all the time, Austin Eckler was a pest. Every day in my office, Coach Stu, a pest. But you put him on the field, and he was very productive. And you got to find those guys. Detrez Newsome a year ago. Adrian Phillips, a Pro Bowler. So those guys are important to our lifeblood. And again, someone asked a question a minute ago, back to Tom Telesco again. Finding those type guys that comes in and give you a chance to be successful. Guys, I appreciate it. And thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Thank you.